Hey everyone, welcome back to part 5 of my Minecraft tutorials. In this video we're going to be finishing up our tutorial on how to start building a basic Star Destroyer. This doesn't obviously cover everything, just covers how to build basic Star Destroyers. In the future I'm going to make videos covering how to build specific Star Destroyers like the Executor or the Imperial Star Destroyer, using the exact same method that I've used to teach you how to build this one here. So this is just kind of like a template. You can think of it that way. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into our finisher. Today we're going to be talking about bridges and any little extra details that you might want to add to the Star Destroyer at the end of it, depending on what kind of weaponry it has and stuff like that. But for now, let's just take a look at our bridge, right? So I built a sample bridge here, and a few concepts that I want you to get down are obviously, when you're starting a Star Destroyer bridge, it'd be really easy if you could just slap down 3 of these and then just say, oh, well, something's missing. I think it's the bridge, so I'll just do that, but that looks ridiculous. And as you can see back here, it doesn't look maybe as good because of how small the scale is, but it's getting somewhere much better because it's got some angles and things that raise it and take it to a different level. So there's that. And then obviously you've got the same little pieces here. What I would definitely recommend is for pretty much every shield destroyer, you're going to want to put a iron block on top of an iron fence, unless you have something in the case of this one where it's much. I keep destroying grass blocks because this is so small. Unless you have something. So irritating. Unless you have something like this, um, where it's a very small Star Destroyer. So now we're going to get to building the bridge itself. So now that we know our basic components, the first thing we want to do is we want to figure out the scaling of the bridge, right? So if I look at this, I don't want my bridge to be bigger than my Star Destroyer itself. I probably want it to reside somewhere right at the top there, right on top of the little superstructure, and I want it to be just big enough to fit across there. So that means I'm going to need a 5 wide bridge. I'm probably going to do like a 3 high. So what I was thinking is something like this, utilizing it backwards. Either way, you want to have a little bit of an incline, right? So you want to do something like this, where you go 2, 2, like that, right? You want to have a little bit of that incline. And usually I think that that's good. Right? And see how that's coming together already as a Star Destroyer bridge, because it kind of goes up on the sides or comes down. And then what we're going to do to kind of finish it off is usually I'd place an iron bar and then I'd place a iron block, but because this is so small, that might look a little bit wonky, so we might want to do something else. But just for the sake of example, we're going to do that just to kind of continue continuity of it. So there we go. And then there we go. We have our basic bridge down, right? Because it kind of goes up on the sides. It might look a little bit ridiculous, a little stupid, but ultimately this is a very small ship. And as you can see, something's wrong here, right? It looks a little flat at the back. You want to know how to fix that? It's very, very easy. First of all, you can either pull the bridge forward a little bit, which might work. And you can experiment with that by just going on one side and pulling it forward. So that looks a little bit better, so we can try that. To pull it forward a little bit. Right. I'm going to teach every Star Destroyer I make the exact same way, and it'll probably make a lot more sense once I start building specific Star Destroyers. I might try and move this bridge up a little bit more, like this. Okay, sorry for all the background noise if you can hear that. So I'll pull this up. There we go. Okay, so we got that pulled up, but something's still missing. Something looks a little wrong. Oh, right, it's the back here, right? We need a little thing connecting this bridge to the back, and typically they look something like this, where you have something in the middle that goes up, and then maybe it has like a little bay in it. Not like that, it looks horrible. Something like that, and then, or maybe, it just has like this, then a little connector, right? And then boom, there we go, right? Because that kind of connects to the bridge itself. That connects the Star Destroyer all together. And so we're done pretty much. The only thing now is to add some final details. So for a bridge to be a bridge, it has to have that little place in the middle. And since this is a 1 to 20 scale, or 1 to 20 scale Star Destroyer, we would need, I typed in bridge because I keep saying it, button to put right there in the middle. Okay, and then that would kind of help us know that it's a bridge. And if you want to add more details to the side here, things like that, I would recommend, searching through your decoration blocks. They'll be super, super helpful, though. There should be right here. They'll be super, super helpful in decorating your bridges. You can use things like levers. You could use things like redstone. And I know it might look kind of stupid or goofy at first, but the more you experiment, the better. And you can put those all around and they can kind of detail the bridge. Especially if you've got like big Star Destroyers, they actually really help with detail. But for now, we're just going to do that. Keep it simple since it's a smaller ship. You can also try, obviously, taking those out, but I don't think that's going to look as good. No, it doesn't. It depends on what you're making, but for this one, it doesn't. Like I said, once we start making more concrete examples of Star Destroyers, it'll make a lot more sense. Excuse me, but for now it's just going to be like that. So next thing that we're going to do is we're going to detail this side, and this is the fun but also very tedious part. We're going to detail a trench. So what you're going to need for that is you're going to need some stairs, and you're going to need some stone slabs. And sorry if this tutorial is getting a bit long, but it is the finisher, so it'll be the last one. And hopefully when I start teaching how to build my builds in the future, all of this will make sense, and you can kind of go back to refer to this as an example of what to do. So what I like to do is I like to put like stone stairs in here, right, like this, to kind of like give the imagination that there are like these little view holes, right? Like this is where they would be working, right? Like if you look through it like that, right, you can kind of see into those little compartments. Like each one of these little holes right here is a little compartment or something, right? And it kind of just gives it a more rough, rugged effect if you do that. And one thing that you can do, and I'm not going to do it right now for the sake of this ship, but you can actually go behind here and put glowstone so that these little holes are glowing, and then it kind of glows all throughout the Star Destroyer, and it looks super, super cool. But for now, I'm just going to do details with these, and since this end piece goes throughout the sky, you probably don't want to put anything on that. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm just going to keep going throughout here. It doesn't have to be even on both sides. Some people like it to be even on both sides, and I was one of those people, but I really gave up with that after a while because you would not believe how tedious that is. So you just place it randomly wherever you feel like. Stairs, slabs, anything you want. I haven't done any slabs yet, but as you can see, there's a slab as an example. So there you go. And if you wanted it to be a bit darker, then you can do that. Or if you wanted a hole, then you could put like glowstone behind it. It's really all up to you. Very customizable. It doesn't have to be the same on both sides. Don't make that the same mistake that I did. And waste your time for hours trying to make it the same on both sides. It's ridiculous. You can do the same thing up here. So the next thing I want to talk about, and I gotta start kind of going a little faster because I've been taking a lot of time here. So I'm just going to put some stairs. So basically, just put stairs and slabs around your stone brick, little bridge area compartments here. So the next thing that I want to talk about, though, is what I like to call, or the guns. So let's say that you've got these big, heavy guns on your Star Destroyers. You'd probably use something like an anvil. For little guns, I just take buttons and I place them on the surface of the Star Destroyer. And that kind of helps out with that. For like medium-sized guns, what I'll typically do is I'll place two slabs together and then place a button on that, or what I'll do is I'll take two slabs and I'll place a skeleton head on there. So that's how I like to organize my guns. So just to kind of show you guys what I'm talking about, let me make a few guns for you so that you can see. Button. these are typically how I organize my Star Destroyer guns, right? Small little guns typically just look like that, just a button. Medium-sized guns typically will look something like this, maybe, with a little skeleton head on it, or I'll just do the skeleton head all by itself, and that can work as a medium-sized gun too. And then these can also work very well as turret guns, and then big, heavy guns will typically be anvils. They will represent the bigger, heavy guns. So for this Star Destroyer, we're probably just going to go with like smaller to medium-sized guns, right? Because it's a small little Star Destroyer. So what we'll do is we might place a few anti-aircraft guns over near the bridge, as usual. And typically what I mean by anti-aircraft guns, typically I use the buttons to represent those. You know, like that. And then maybe we'll have some bigger guns at the front, like right here. There you go. And I mean, that's really all you need for like detailing and stuff like that. And you've got yourself a small little Star Destroyer that, you know, works and it functions. And, you know, does it look wonderful? Does it look absolutely amazing? No, not quite yet, because we don't have any concrete examples going down, but it does its job for a tiny little Star Destroyer. And in the next few videos I'm going to be making on Star Destroyers, I'll teach you how to make very specific ones. And I'll also teach you how to make like random cars and things like that. But for now, this is all we really need for the build that we're doing today. So I hope you guys enjoyed that video. This is going to end our Star Destroyer series. Sorry that it had to be so long. For the few people that are watching, thank you for watching. And let me know if you have any questions down in the comments section below. Request any builds, anything like that. I'm more than happy to answer your comments. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.